A woman is dead after falling more than 70 feet from a hiking trail in western North Carolina. Polk County officials say it happened around 1:30 yesterday afternoon at Big Bradley Falls in Saluda. Several agencies were called to the area. We're told the woman fell 70 to 100 feet and died at the scene. Her name hasn't been released, but officials say she's believed to be in her 20s.
Officials believe that 29-year-old Astrid Tikas fell between 75 to 100 feet and died at the scene. Her death remains under investigation by the Polk County government.
Breaking news, the York County Sheriff's Office says the former sheriff was arrested this morning. The Sheriff's Office tells us that Kevin Tolson was in a crash on Airport Road in Rock Hill. They say his vehicle went off the road and hit a telephone pole and a fence. Tolson is accused of leaving the scene without reporting what had happened. He was identified and arrested and has since been released.
Greenville County Sheriff's Office tells 7 News a teenager is under arrest after a deadly shooting over the weekend.
Let's go live to Julia Keener, who's been closely following the investigation. And Julia, what can you tell us?
Amy and Taylor, the Greenville County Sheriff's Office says any homicide is concerning, but what makes this case even more alarming is the age of the suspect, just 14 years old. Deputies say they were called around 2 a.m. Saturday to the Boulder Creek apartments. When they arrived, they found a man in the roadway who had been shot and killed.
Anytime you're dealing with homicides and you're coming across bodies, it's disturbing. But then whenever you find out it's a young child, a 14-year-old child, it's extremely alarming, and it's very upsetting. I mean, words can't really express what this does to a community whenever you see a 14-year-old responsible for committing an act like this.
Lieutenant Ryan Flood tells us it didn't take long to find the teen.
It was a 14-year-old juvenile male who actually confessed to committing the shooting.
He says the victim, 40-year-old Michael Freeman, was an acquaintance of the suspect's mother.
From what we gather at this point, that's kind of what spurred this whole thing. The juvenile did not like some part of that relationship and shot him.
Flood says the gun the teen used belonged to Freeman.
The child was able to acquire this gun that was left in the open in his apartment, and it belonged to the victim. So he was able to take that gun and then shoot the victim, resulting in his death. Again, just another elevates the alarmingness in this incident even further.
We're told this marks the 14th murder in Greenville County this year.
Anything above 0 is just unacceptable. You know, it takes a community and it takes everyone to hopefully withdraw from the violent acts, seek the help that they need to get before they commit such crimes.
The 14-year-old was taken to the Department of Juvenile Justice in Columbia. Live in Greenville, Julia Keener, back to you.
Julia, thank you for your coverage. The teen, who has not been named, is charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Now at 4, an agent from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division was terminated Thursday for reportedly driving under the influence in a state-issued vehicle. SLED confirmed that Lieutenant Jefferson Keith Dorman was arrested by the South Carolina Highway Patrol in Spartanberg County. According to SLED, Dorman was immediately fired at the Spartanberg County Detention Center.
A breaking news update. A bond hearing was held in Greenville for a former teacher accused of abusing a teenage boy. She had a previous bond hearing last week in Anderson. And Clemson police say charges could be pending in their jurisdiction as well. Our Taylor Farmer has more from Greenville.
Nicole Callahan is facing more than 10 charges in Greenville County. A judge set bond for each charge during her hearing.
I'm going to set a surety bond on each of these in the amount of $10,000 as they did in Anderson, for a total of $120,000 surety.
Former Homeland Park primary teacher Nicole Callahan was arrested last week in Anderson County for the sexual abuse of a 14-year-old boy back in 2021. She's now facing similar charges in Greenville County, where the alleged victim attended school. According to the victim's mother, Callahan was a director at Project Challenge Playhouse, where her son first met Callahan while auditioning for a play. The victim's mother says she believed at the time Callahan was serving as a mentor.
On May 22nd, 2025, the Greenville Police Department received a report from investigators from the Anderson County Sheriff's Office regarding the sexual assault case, listing Nicole Blue Callahan as the suspect.
The detective handling the case says the alleged abuse lasted for 2 years. In Greenville, Callahan faces 8 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor and 4 counts of unlawfully placing a child at risk for allegedly providing the victim with alcohol. As she entered the courtroom Monday, Callahan smiled at people in attendance, including her family and fiancé.
Ms. Callahan is 8 to 9 weeks pregnant.
Callahan's attorney asked the court to consider her presumed innocence and requested a surety bond be set. He argues she needs prenatal care and is not a danger to the community. The judge granted bond, but with several conditions. She will be placed under house arrest with GPS monitoring, have no contact with the victim, and must undergo both a mental and psychological evaluation to determine if she's competent to stand trial. The judge also established a red zone, prohibiting her from coming within a mile of the victim's residence in Anderson. Callahan's attorney thanked the judge as she turned and smiled at him before she was escorted out by police.
The attorney for the alleged victim says at this time, no other victims have come forward. In Greenville, Taylor Farmer, 7 News.
There is no word at this point on when this case could go to trial.
New tonight, people involved with BMX are asking Spartanburg County to change their minds. Volunteers say they just found out that the track will close for good. 7 News' Lauren Miller reports they've created a petition.
The Spartanberg BMX track has been open since 1989, and it's been home to hundreds of experienced and new racers, but the recent news of its closing has left most people blindsided. Kylie Grace Mabin is one of the many racers who call Spartanberg BMX her home and has for the past 4 years. And like other racers, the recent closure has led her to practice further away.
I don't think the county knows how much impact they're putting on the riders.
In a statement to 7 News, the county explained they did not make the decision lightly, but felt it's the best thing for the residents of this growing area moving forward. Sonia Penland, who is looking to be the track's new operator, says this news caught her by surprise.
I found out when I had sent an email asking them if we could meet so I could discuss what my vision was for the track under my leadership.
In response, Spartanburg County said, quote, "We have been evaluating the relationship with Spartanburg BMX for several years, and ultimately a variety of factors led to this decision. But BMX families and volunteers are still urging the county to reconsider with a petition. So far, it's received 1,400 signatures.
You know, it's heartbreaking for these families. A lot of families cannot afford to travel to Rock Hill. They can't afford to travel to Lexington because this track is right there, you know, in their immediate area.
And parent Dustin Mabin says the extra travel time can mean the difference between being on the podium or not placing at all.
And knowing that the drive is going to be so much further for us to race now, you know, that worries her too. You know, what can we afford to do and what can we not afford to do?
In my opinion, this is going to be probably one of the biggest impacts they might ever have in their athletic part of life.
County officials went on to say that Spartanburg BMX was no longer able to fulfill obligations made within the agreement with Spartanburg County. In Spartanburg, Lauren Miller, 7 News.
And in an email to Penland, the county says the petition does not change its mind.